I thank God for this special time, and this is the place where Moses, the prophet of God, who was called by God, stood here and looked out and looked over this Jordan. Moses, the man of God, the prophet of God, who even on the backside of the mountain where God spoke to him and told him, "Take off your shoes, Moses, for this is holy ground." This is Mount Nebo. This is the place where Moses climbed to this place and looked out over this beautiful Jordan River. And he said, "The promised land is over there, Moses, but Moses, you will not be able to go in." But God said, "I'm going to allow you to see it." We thank God for this sacred place, Mount Nebo, and for all that has been done here, for the wonderful, miraculous things that took place. Even Moses, the prophet, handed down his mandate to Joshua right in this place. This is Mount Nebo, this beautiful, and the Valley of Jordan, this wonderful place. We're bringing you a special report right here from Mount Nebo in Jordan.
We're standing here in the church on top of Mount Nebo. And of course, Mount Nebo is that location it's in modern day Jordan, where the Lord God led Moses and showed him from atop this mountain the promised land. A land that he would not enter because of his disobedience, but a land that he had promised to his forefathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This particular building is built upon the ruins of an old, ancient Roman church. And as you go to the various levels of the church, on this level you see the beautiful mosaics, the pictures laid in little square pieces of stone, the ancient columns. Perhaps these were Doric columns. Looking at the base of the columns, the circular base of the columns, they probably had a very simple base on top of the column. As you see, there is a tin roof that serves as the covering for this church in order to preserve the context of the ancient Roman church that was on this site. Again, a church that was dedicated, a Roman church that later became dedicated as a Christian sanctuary to commemorate Moses' final days on the earth. Moses coming to a point of resignation in his own life, knowing that he had fulfilled his mission and that he was to hand on the mantle to Joshua. Imagine the spirit of Moses, the heart of Moses, standing here and having given his life to lead the people of Israel out of Egypt, and knowing that he had done all that he was assigned to do, that he could do no more, that he had reached a point where he had to pass on the mantle of leadership to a younger person, to one of his lieutenants, Joshua. So this really marks a point of closure for Moses' ministry, yet the beginning of a new ministry for Joshua to lead the people into the promised land. So while the people were being led into the promised land, Moses rested here, eventually died here, was buried here in Moab. And this church is the site of a lot of pilgrims who come to Mount Nebo to pray and to somehow recapture the heart of Moses, and only imagine what he must have come to at the culmination of a long life, leading people out of slavery, out of bondage, toward freedom, and yet getting them to a point where he could carry them no longer. He had to pass on the mantle to another person. I am George Augustus Stallings, Jr., reporting to you from Mount Nebo in modern day Jordan.
I thank God for Archbishop Augustus Stallings and his complete report, as I stand here also reporting to you, and we're going to be bringing you more clips and more pieces of this wonderful trip to the Holy Land. I thank God. I'm Pastor Brondon, Reems, signing out.
When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go.
Moses,
my people, go